Not good. Not good. Not good at all. No! No! Worst double. Look, I will say, and I don't want this to get lost to time. I don't. This is the best double eviction we've had in a year. Like, it truly is. Of the past 2 double evictions, this is the best one. Last year's was worse. Because I think last year's, there was more hope. Even if Angela wins this HOH, MJ just goes home. You know what I mean? Last season, there was hope. Bowie won, you know? The last good double eviction? No, it was definitely my double eviction. That was good. Even Zombie Week spoiled it a little bit. And the Michael double eviction was great. Michael double eviction was fire. Has it ever been more over? It's pretty over. Thank you, Allie, for the 10 months. Thank you, Keybearer. Thank you, other Allie, Allie Pal. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, Vivinator, for the Prime. There's a special deal on gifted subs now. I'm not sure what it is, but yeah. Ruminate on that. That's how you know it's bad. I got to pick someone up from the airport tonight, lose. Last year, knowing Mafia was coming was painful. Yeah. With the next episode being at 10:30, it's beyond over. Look, here's what I'm going to say. I'm not a fan of Rabina's bit of, I'm so bad at Big Brother, I don't care, I'm having fun. I'm happy for her that she's having fun. I'm not a fan of the bit, personally. I'm not a fan of her going up to Chelsea during the double eviction saying, yeah, you can put me up. Rune. We added 1 gift and 1 bonus gift sub to Rune. So wait, did you just gift 7 subs? 1, 2, 3. You gifted 7 subs? What a deal that is. You could just give me money and then there's a random chance Twitch is going to give me more money. Guys, we gotta roll this dice. Thank you, Kelly, for the gift as well. But thank you, Rune. Rune, you going to the event in Nashville? By the way, this is the first time I can talk about that. We're doing a BB26 finale watch party in Nashville, Tennessee with the Bowie Jane. Red's going to be there as well. Some other really special guests I can't tell you about yet, but that's happening. Tickets are all on Instagram. We would post them on Twitter, but last time that happened, But again, thank you, Rune. I appreciate you. Thank you, Kelly, for the gift. BB26 was a good season. Where does it rank in the season's ranking? Okay. I think it is the best season since season 20. It's not my favorite season of those. It's not my style of season, but I think objectively it's the best season since 20. I think it ranks around where like season 18 is for me. My big complaint with this season, I'm just not a big fan of the cast. They all seem like wonderful people, and it's a much less problematic cast than we usually have. But I think the cast is not as captivating to me. Like, I'm not rooting super hard for anybody or against anybody else, which I think is a lot of the fun when it comes to Big Brother. So, like, we get to the final 5 here, and it's like, I think I'd want Chelsea to win just because she's the only one who I think is a deserving Big Brother winner. Chemo or Rubino winning would be a disaster. Cam winning would just whatever. And MJ winning, I'm kind of here for it, but she's really bad. So, like, you know. I think I'm pulling for Chelsea at this point. BB20 had a better cast. Oh, 100%. Yeah. And look, the endgame, I think, is going to fall off here. I think we're going to have a boring conclusion. But usually it gets boring earlier than final 6. So good on the season for holding on for this long. I'm the only people I don't want to win are Chemo and Rabina. I think they both seem like really great people, but I don't like the sleepwalking to the end. It's just like Cam is playing a lot more actively than both of them. So is MJ. Even if MJ makes all the wrong choices, at least she's making choices. You know, she's playing hard. But I think it's the best season since 20. Personally, I like BB25 more because I think the strategy was a lot more interesting. But the comps at the end made it really bad. I don't know. I just think BB25 was better feeds. Just having been in there. Like, it was not a dull period. Biased? Yeah, I'm biased. Correct. But, you know. No, I think the BB26 jury phase has been good so far. I think the BB26 jury phase was like Quinn's eviction was very interesting. T-Core's was very interesting. And Leah's was interesting. I think the problem with this season is like you get a lot of very interesting outcomes, but the journey to those outcomes is very boring. Like the actual weeks, the live feeds are really not interesting to watch. And often the live eviction nights are very interesting. So it's like a weird trade-off because usually it's the opposite. On BB25, like the episodes were terrible. The live evictions were terrible. But the feeds were really good, at least while they were good. So it's a weird kind of season. Barely any good strategy. For me, I don't need good strategy. I just need, like, an interesting game happening. If it's because of a lot of dumb players making dumb moves, that's fine. Thanks, JPR, for the gift. Did I see Zach's tweet? I didn't. Let me pull it up. How do I get... Survivor Desi, thank you for the tier 1. It's a good tweet. BB26 has truly been incredible. I can't wait to read how it ends. It's true. Whoa. Anonymous, thank you for gifting 5 subs, and thank you, Twitch, for tacking on an extra 3. What is going on? What is this promotion they're doing? What a fucking deal. You got 3 gifties? Thank you, an anonymous gifter. That's crazy. Twitch doing some charity work for me, too. It's Valorant? Okay. I've seen as much 10 free on a 5 gift. That's wicked. Maybe we'll get there one day. How do I get the promo? I think you just you gift subs. I don't think it's a promo like that. It's September, yeah. Yeah, the veto's been used every time. Still. I will say, if Chelsea, Cam, and MJ are loyal to each other, this week's already over, unfortunately. Well, not true. So if Chemo or Rabina win, we assume the nominations will be Cam and MJ, right? We assume? And it's going to be BB Comics, which means Cam or MJ is going to win. My guess would be MJ, because Cam has just proven himself to not be good. So if you put like Chelsea and Cam up and MJ wins veto, takes one of them down, they control the votes. Whoa! Anonymous, thank you for 5 more gifted, plus the 3 additional from Twitch. Twitch is popping off. Thank you, Anonymous. Whoever you are, come to the Nashville event. Say howdy, please. We have a Twitch staff in chat, Cory. Oh my god, do we? Well, thank you. I love gifting anonymously. It makes me feel altruistic and selfless. There's nothing more altruistic than donating to your favorite Big Brother player turned streamer. That's just the truth. Thank you. I appreciate it. Supercuts did good. I like your hair. I think so. So what I was saying is MJ or Cam is going to win this veto because it's comics. Chemo and Rabina. Chemo and Rabina are so useless. I know Chemo just won the veto, but what the fuck was happening in that HOH comp? Like, really? Like, what is happening? Chelsea almost choking that HOH comp, too? Thank you, Petty, for your altruistic act. I appreciate that. Chemo and Rabina need to lock in. They're allergic to locking in. Allergic. Anonymous, thank you for gifting a sub as well. I appreciate you. MJ HOH incoming. Look, I think the biggest risk to Chelsea's game at this point is MJ winning and catching on. I think it's almost impossible that MJ's going to do that, though, because after this week, MJ's like, see, I was right. Chelsea didn't target me. You know? Chemo seems more able to lock in than Rabina. It's fucking... We could tier list Chemo and Rabina, but they're both, in the grand scheme of things, pretty low. Taper fade? I don't think so. If MJ ever turns on Chelsea, Chelsea will pull out the Bible. I hope so. Look, I like religion as manipulation. I just hope it actually is manipulation and not, you know, a heavenly bond. Angela on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Angela should be on... I think Angela should just be on the Traders. You know what I mean? I think that's her spot. I think you should put Angela and Felicia on the Traders together. I need Rabina to take out Chelsea. It's not going to happen. Is there any chance that Rabina is like closer to Cam than Chelsea, maybe? Thank you, Jennifer, for the tier 1. I appreciate you. Angela can't be on Traders till her contract is up. You know, you can get out of those contracts. You basically just need CBS's permission, and like if CBS doesn't feel like they're going to use Angela anytime soon. Suri ate that lying on the Bible thing last year. Did Suri lie on the Bible? See, I wouldn't cross that line personally. Angela was good TV. Yeah, I will say, like, this season, like, there's a new meta in Big Brother that I really don't enjoy, where it's just, like, I think backdoors are good. I like backdoors. I think it's fine. It's good to get out strong competitors. But it's been a trend the past 2 seasons where it's the same 2 noms every week, and you just wait until veto's over so you could, like, have the week done and then actually put up your target. It's not even like a backdoor to make them not be able to play in veto. It's like a backdoor so you can hide who your target is until after veto. Where it's just Suri Felicia, Suri Felicia, Suri Felicia every week. And then Chemo Angela, Chemo Angela, Chemo Angela every week. It's just kind of boring. Thank you, Madeline, for the prime. How are you doing? 10 months. That's crazy. 10 months. 10 meses. They'll still nom Angela Chemo next week? Yeah, I'd bet so. Suri wasn't nominated much, though. Well, she was nominated at the final 9. She was nominated with Felicia at the final 5, obviously. She was nominated with Felicia at the final 7. Maybe it was only 3 times together, I think. 2 or 3 times together. It wasn't as much. You're right. I guess it was just like Felicia plus somebody. It was Blue Felicia a lot. Yeah, Blue Felicia happened a couple times. It was only 2. All right. I stand corrected. Thank you, Nicholas XCX. We're about to see Charlie XCX in a couple weeks. I feel like that concert's going to be ass. Like, how is she going to do a live concert? It's like a club album. They need to make it so if you survive the block, you cannot be an initial nom for next week. That actually is an interesting twist for, like, pre-jury, maybe. It's kind of interesting. How would that change things? Oh, I have a hype chest. I'm opening it. We got the You Missed emote. Let's go. Choo-choo. Guys, we need more hype chests. Come on. We need more gifties, more hype chests, more emotes, more galaxies, more tigers. You'd have to end that twist pretty early, but it could avoid perpetual pawns. I like that idea for the first couple weeks. Just experiment with it, see what happens. They're going full High School Musical this week. Oh my god. I hate watching these house guests on the feeds. My favorite person to watch on the feeds is I actually like watching the Cam Chelsea soap opera. I think it's my favorite thing at this point. Thank you, Thief Juice. And I say this as a Leah fan. I don't know if I'd like Leah on any other season. Like she'd be the one I'm rooting for. But in this cast, I found her the most rootable, which is kind of crazy. Because you sit and watch Leah have a conversation, and it's really hard to watch sometimes when she's strategizing at the very least. Don't call me boy, Jennifer. BB26 feeds are infinitely more pleasant than BB25 feeds. Pleasant, absolutely. Yes. What do you think of Janky's murder? Are we sure it was not a janky suicide? Thoughts on Jared? You asked me a more lengthy question. What do you mean? Thoughts? I don't have many thoughts on Jared. I think he'd be great on the challenge. He's perfect amount of physical and messy. No Andrew Tate talk on BB26. Can someone tell me the truth of the Candace Owens allegations? Because I've heard a lot of mixed reports. She just follows Candace Owens on social media. That's the extent of it. Candace Owens gate. What's the answer to that? Chelsea was following Candace previously. All right. It's fake. See, that was what's confusing me, because some people were saying it's fully fake. Others are saying it was... She follows Dems like Michelle Obama and Kamala Harris. Is it Kamala Harris or Kamala Harris? I heard Chaperone say it. I just want to make sure I have it right. It's Kamala, right? I'm kidding. I know it's Kamala. Look, I think everyone who's normal and not dumb knew exactly what Chaperone meant when she said there's problems on both sides. Like, obviously she's too far left for the Democratic Party is what she's saying. But she is so terrible at PR. Like, you can't say there's problems on both sides. It's such a trope. Is it true? Yes. And I get you being like, okay, if it's true, why can't she say it? You have to understand, like, you just can't say those words in that order. It's so bad. I was holding my breath there. Like, people saying she's a Republican is stupid, but, you know, like, come on. She never lied, though? No, she didn't. Again, like, the problem is not her beliefs, it's her messaging. Battle back for Angela only. I think, look, this is another hot take of mine. I think the Angela experience has run its course. I think it was time for Angela to go. In the same way I thought it was time for Tucker to go. To a certain degree, it might have been the right time for Quinn to go. You know what I mean? I think this season's done pretty well of getting people out at the right time. The problem is it's left us with these people, but yeah. America is doing a podcast, yes. I'm glad she was on the season, but I'm done. Yeah, I think so. We don't have anyone to root for. Look, I'm pulling for Chelsea at this point. I think it's been a while since we had a real top-tier winner. Not top tier, but a good A-tier winner. I think, honestly, the person who I'd root for at this point, Chelsea, I think the most satisfying winners, and I mean satisfying, would be like Chelsea, MJ, Cam, Chemo, Rabina. Maybe. Because, look, I'm not a fan of MJ's. Really, I'm not a fan of her game at all. I think she's a really bad player. But she's playing really hard. Like, she's playing really, really hard, and I could respect that a lot more. Cam's just done nothing. And he's playing, and granted, when I say he's done nothing, he's done more than Chemo and Rabina. But secretly, I think Chemo might win the season. If Chemo or Rabina get this HOH, I'd give him a good shot. He just needs to win, like, the right competitions. He needs Rabina or him to win this HOH, and then he needs to win Final Four HOH. That's his path. And if he does that, he wins. Chemo's leaving this week, most likely. Yeah. How high do you rank Angela's exit on all of them? I didn't enjoy it that much because I've seen it so many times. Angela does it every week. Every week. Thank you, Thief Juice, if I didn't already thank you. This sub promotion's wild. Twitch is just gifting extra subs. That's bonkers. Someone said it on live that it was happening. I was like, it's not like Twitch has extra money to give out. They're poor as hell. Terran still has his fall draft team. Honestly, Terran's draft philosophy is very smart. And his draft ended up being pretty shitty because he had, like, Cam and MJ who were, like, terrible. But just picking the physical people, the physical, likable people, is a really reasonable plan. Maybe TwitchCon was very profitable. You think they're just handing out money now because of it? But thanks, Kendra. Cam is so bad at comps. He's pretty bad. He reminds me of Matt. A lot. Like, if they have ball pit comps, he'll win them. But this season just doesn't have ball pit comps. And he's good at the endurance stuff. He got second in Janky World. He got, like, third on the wall. He'll do well on everything that's just physical, but the non-physical stuff is harder. Even Matt started winning by now. Don't forget the comps Matt won. Matt won 2 ball pits and that final 5 ball crapshoot. You know what I mean? And he won the one that Cam already won, the Dizzy, and then, even though he didn't take the veto. Yeah, PB Comics is a veto. Paths of Power too? Sure. He won Paths of Power, I guess. But, like, if Cam had Matt's comps, Cam would have won an extra 2 vetoes. Like, he just would have. BB Comics wasn't a veto last year, but that was the big twist. It was the Scramble verse. So, like, the HOH was the veto, and the veto was the HOH. I don't think we have any reason to assume they're doing it again. And it said it was the veto, right? Thank you, GP Eastside. I appreciate you. Tier 1, 10 months. Can I see the haircut? It's really bad. I don't like it at all. It was not a super cut, contrary to the name of the establishment I got it at. Invisible HOH trauma? Yeah, I feel that. I feel that for sure. Who's winning comics? I think MJ would be the safest bet, yeah. But comics is weird. Like, the way comics works is if you make a mistake, it's really hard to figure out what your mistake is. You kind of need to do it on your first try. I got lucky. I made one mistake and then knew exactly what it was or guessed what it was and then fixed it quickly. But, like, Matt and Blue made 1 or 2 mistakes, and then it's super hard determining what your mistakes are. So MJ could just fuck it up. Cam could just fuck it up. Thank you, Jackson O'Mara. Jackson O'Mara. Thank you. Chelsea and MJ are going to be the final 2. It's very possible. I think Chelsea and Cam would be my guess right now. But Chelsea and MJ is possible. MJ would have to comp out, but it's very easy to comp out from the final 5. Chelsea has a chance at BB Comics. Yeah, she has a chance. I mean, she doesn't have, like, there's no Jag this year. Cam's not Jag. MJ's not Jag, so. Whoa! Wait, Anonymous, were you scammed? Oh, no, you were not scammed. So they added 8 subs to your 25 gifted. Holy shit. Thank you, Anonymous. Honestly, if you're ever going to love bomb me, now's the time. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. 25 gifted subs. That's approximately $15,000, Angela would say. Why is now the time? For some reason, Twitch is running a promotion where you gift subs, they gift extra subs. So Anonymous gifted 25, but I ended up getting 33 because Twitch just gave me 8 extra subs. Me and America are together, yes. Again, thank you so much, Anonymous. This is crazy. I appreciate you. It's a lot of money. I still don't know exactly who you are, but I appreciate it. Thank you. First all-female Final 2 ever. Oh my god, we're almost there. Let me tell you, though. This was the season of the women. At the Final 7, we had 5 girls, 2 guys. We're down to 3 girls, 2 guys. It's kind of giving BB25 a little bit. Thank you, Anonymous, again. I don't know what to say. Thank you. You should move the sub thing to the left. Yeah, probably. That's all I'm saying. Cam Chemo Final 2. Here's what I'll say, too. I think, whoa, JPR. My guy. Thank you for the 5 gifted. I appreciate you. Wahoo. Twitch pitches in, gives me an extra one. Thank you, JPR. I think Chemo is the biggest jury threat on the board. I think Chemo is a bigger jury threat than Chelsea, which sounds crazy, but I think it's true. Because Chemo is clearly going to get T-Core, Rabina, and Angela. That's 3. And then you need one more. Leah is a very easy Chemo vote. I think you got to get Chemo out. He's too big of a threat. How does a Twitch noob claim a gifted sub? Yeah, it's just guess. It's all luck. Chemo and Chelsea Final 2? No way. And Quinn loves Chemo too, yeah. Quinn might still vote for who he thinks the better player is, but it's still dangerous. But thank you again, JPR, for the 5 gifted. I appreciate you. And thank you, Anonymous, for the 25 gifted. Oh my god, we're climbing back up. Sub number fell pretty dangerously close to under 500. We can't be having that. A Chemo win would be the worst outcome for the season. I think a Rabina win would be worse than a Chemo win, but they're really pretty close. Like, it doesn't make that much of a difference. You know what I mean? Did you talk to someone at TwitchCon? No, not that I know of. Maybe someone was undercover. I did meet one fan of the stream there. But I think a Rabina win would be the worst. Because I think Chemo did play an active role for the first half of the season. He was a passive active player, but he was playing. I think Chemo would be the smartest bet to go home this week. But if Chemo or Rabina win the HOH, MJ's in a lot of trouble. And they have a 50-50 shot as long as it's not a physical HOH. Which I don't think it would be physical, because comics is physical. But, you know. An update on partnership? I got to reach back out to my person. She said she was taking care of it, and then said, sorry, it's taking a while, and then never got back to me. Cam win would be worse than Chemo or Rabina? No shot. Cam is playing way more actively than either of them. No, they announced Indiana that they'd have a chance to win the veto in the iconic comics competition. The last time they did Face Morph, it's been a while. It's a great comp, though. Big anniversary plans? Well, I'm taking the LSAT on my anniversary. It's a tragedy. He's just parroting what Chelsea says. So is Chemo and Rabina, but at least Cam's, like, input matters. Cam's actually Chelsea's number 1. Chemo and Rabina are also just parroting her, though. She did great until our HOH this past week. MJ? I think MJ was terrible all season. I think she did well in Janky Week, and that's it. I think before Janky Week she played terribly, and after Janky Week she's been terrible. But she's playing hard, and I like that. Hopefully they do something this week. At the Final 5, there's not that much to do other than win comps, unfortunately. You're not going to flip anybody, you know? What would have happened in the double if Angela won? I think she probably would have put up Cam and Chelsea. Chemo wins the veto. Probably uses it on Chelsea or nothing, you think? Maybe Angela would have said, if you use it, I'm putting up Rabina, you know? But Chemo probably wouldn't have used it, I guess. He might save Chelsea. I don't know. But if he doesn't use it, I think Cam does just go home still. I don't know if they vote out Chelsea there. Let me say, I do think for Chelsea, the right move was to get rid of Angela. Mostly because she's the biggest goat to bring to the end, and people are going to be very tempted to cut Chelsea for Angela. I miss the gamers threatening shit, like threaten your jury vote, you're fighting for 750k. Threatening your jury vote just doesn't work, though. Battle back chances, 0. Absolutely not. Julie keeps telling everyone, see you on finale night. It's an interesting stat. Angela joins America, Hannah, and Chicken George as players unanimously saved and then unanimously evicted on double eviction night. I can't believe they are to Chicken George and All-Stars during the double eviction. That's crazy. How would have responded if you were in Leah's position hearing them talk about her? Are you talking about in the backyard when Leah heard him? I wouldn't have blown up on anybody. I would have gone and tried to talk to them. Try to talk to Chelsea, figure out what it was about, and then go to whoever I have to flip and be like, I heard them talking about X, Y, and Z. But I don't think there's that much to do in that spot. What I probably would have done is gone to MJ and said, Chelsea, Rabina, and Chemo are like they're like a 3. They're working together super closely. Chelsea's playing the middle of both of you. Would I have been that self-aware in the moment? Probably not. But from the outside. Winner pick for Survivor, Australia versus the world. Some Australian. Maybe Kirby. Not Surrey. Surrey, I think, has a tough assignment out there. I think Kirby's a safe bet. Yeah, no, I hear you, Chris. We just have to not pretend like these players in this season are different from who they are. Like, it's asking a lot of Leah to be able to do that. Winner pick for Survivor 50. Winner pick for Survivor 50 is tough. I don't know. I like Omer. I think Omer would be good. I think D. Winners, I think it's hard for winners to win. I think Omer's an interesting call. Maybe like, I don't know. I think Charlie'd be too big of a threat. Boston Rob, yeah. Maybe Cody, if Cody comes back. Maybe Cody. You got to be like a good player and not be a huge threat. I think that's him. Rome. I wish Christian would do another season. Yeah, I'm sure if they asked him, he'd do it. A Quinn Leah, Amara Cory double date. That was very cute, the interview with Leah. We'll see. We'll see if anything happens in jury. It's a weird setting for a relationship to develop. I know it happens all the time. America and I were already together at that point, so I wonder how it'll work out. They have nothing to do but hang out and participate in activities together, so if there's anything there, it'll happen in jury. Excuse me. Beep, beep. Why can't I hear? I don't know why I can't hear. I don't know. Whatever. Yeah, no, I saw the clip. I was just going to watch it again. Claire and Derek have an injury. It happens a lot, yeah. Kat, Dunn, and Sam, right? Sorry, Kat. Their lifestyles are just so different. I think people would say the same about Me in America. I think the difference is Me in America are both, like, super fans, kind of, and Leah's not. Not Sam, Nick. I meant Nick. Because the Nick and Bella drama. I apologize. Sorry, Kat. I know you would never be with Sam. Nick, on the other hand. Leah did better than I thought she would. I guess my question for you all would be, like, how good is Leah as a player? Like, is Leah good? Is Leah the second best player of the season? Top 2 of the season? I think I'd have her at number 4. I think right now my list would be Chelsea, Brooklyn, Cam, and then Leah, probably. And then maybe T-Core. I think Chemo's better than T-Core. I don't know if I believe that. I don't know. It gets really hard at that point. Like, I think Quinn is top half, and that's a crazy thing to say, but I think he's top half. You want to do this little thought experiment right here? All right, here's the thought experiment, okay? Let's reset. The ads in this website go crazy. Using the internet without an ad blocker is crazy. You just can't, like, do anything. So I'm ranking from... I'm just going to do a binary order of best to... So the best player is Chelsea, and it's not close. I think then I would have Brooklyn and Cam, and then maybe Leah, and then maybe T-Core. And then I would do, like... Shit, like, what the fuck after this? Then I would go Chemo, probably. Quinn, Joseph, Rabina. And then I would go, like, Cedric, MJ, Tucker. No, Angela's better than Tucker. Lisa, Matt, Kenny. I think this would be my list. Cedric should be higher. I could put Cedric up here. Just because Leah got far doesn't mean she's good. I'm not saying she's good. That's not what I'm saying. Like, I think Leah played actively and tried to do what's in her self-interest, and that puts her in a unique category this season. Whereas Cam, so high, he's a useless floater. He's not a floater. Because he's a likable, social dude who doesn't blow up his own game. On this season, that's enough to be the third best player of the season for me. She played actively for 2 weeks. Hosier, tell me who else played actively for 2 weeks. Chelsea? Sure. Brooklyn? Maybe. Maybe, like, the week the Pentagon formed. T-Core, definitely. Like, she played active during, like, the Cedric flip, and that was it. Quinn played actively all game, but he played actively bad most of the game. Floater doesn't mean coaster. Get it right. Y'all are so annoying with the floater coaster thing. It's the same. Okay, y'all bitches are annoying about backdoors too. Can we talk about this? When you guys say backdoor, what do you mean? What do you all mean when you say backdoor? Because I understand the premise of you can't be backdoored if you played in the veto. I get it. I understand. The six-finger plan, the whole point of it is to... A backdoor... in modern Big Brother lingo means put up after the veto meeting as the replacement nom. That is a backdoor. That's it. That's it. Everyone calls Cory in America going up a double backdoor. Everybody. We both played in the veto. It's, whether you say that's what it always meant, that's fine. Language evolves. It adapts to the time. A backdoor is when you go on the block after the veto meeting. That's how every player uses it. You didn't know you were going up, though? So that's a qualifier now? Since when? All renoms are not backdoors. There has to be an intent to target them. I'd be willing to listen to that, sure. Like, if it was Rabina backdoored today, no, that seems silly. But I think the intent to target makes more sense to me than not playing in the veto. Oh, yeah, Manda, people were not saying it before that either. Come on. The qualifier is a target. I don't mind that. That makes sense to me. I think Leo was backdoored. Leo was absolutely backdoored. Yes. That's what I mean. Oh, Jess, I disagree with that. Because, like, what Jag and Matt did was you always backdoored everybody, not so they couldn't play in the veto, because at that point, it was already so late in the season, everyone was playing, basically. It was so you could change who your target is based on the veto result. So, I wasn't the target until the veto result happened, in which case I was backdoored. So I think people online are too annoying about what backdoors mean. It's just put up as a target after the veto. That's it. And this brings me to my other point of coasters and floaters. I think we should devolve our language because people they don't use those words as what they mean. They don't. Floater, we should just use as someone who is, personally, I think being a floater and a coaster should mean the same thing. I understand the difference between the two. Coasting, you're just sitting there, going through the game, not doing anything. Floater, you're actively playing the middle and whatever. I get that. Floater should be a derogatory term used for people who are playing too passive. It's simpler that way. It was a simpler time. It's more effective. Calling someone a coaster doesn't have the same zing to it. It's just better. Derogatory. Yeah, floater, parentheses, derogatory. It's just very much like, I used this example before and it's crazy. It's when people say like all cops are bastards. And they're like, well, actually what we mean is bastardized because by virtue of being in the policing system, you're compromising your own ethics, in which case bastardization. It's like, no, we just mean bad, which is fine. Like, that's fine. Like, that's how most people use it. Like, the few people who understand the actual, definition, the denotation, doesn't matter. It's about how it's used most, universally. This is not even the first time I've done this, botanist. It's not even, get this guy on Talk Tua. That'd be great on Talk Tua. America asked someone to be on her show, her podcast. They didn't respond, and I think it was because they were doing Talk Tua. You guys can connect those dots. Exactly, Nikki. Exactly. Someone gets it. We should get Haley Welch on the America Tells All podcast. Language is a floating signifier. What matters is how people use it, not how it's defined. Yes. Oh, I've been meaning to talk about linguistic theory on my channel for months now. And I'm glad we're getting there. Y'all are going to show up to next stream, and it's going to be a PowerPoint of linguistic hierarchy. It's going to be awesome. You'll be a house guest next season. Remember me? All right, Nikki. Nikki, what's your plan? Give us some insight. Yeah, I'll announce it. Sure. Mountain's a good idea. I was born into a wealthy family. If I was born into it, I would have studied linguistics. Linguistics is the major that I put in all my college applications, so I didn't sound like a basic speech and debate Jewish poli-sci kid. And I like writing, so. Only if you're whole thing in Spanish. No puedo hablar español muy bueno. Yo estudio español para 8, 9 años, pero no tengo ni idea que something. The accent is something. My accent's all right, actually. Pon la mochila encima de la mesa o debajo de la mesa. Voy a hablar sobre el tema de la vida rural y urbana. Hoy en día, el problema del peligro en las capitales de los países. Por un lado, muchos afirman que, it's not terrible. I could read. If you give me, a page of Spanish, I could read it. Ay, caramba. Coge tu sombrero y póntelo. Vamos a la playa, calientazo. Chiribiribin, bom, 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 bom. I love Marisabel. Oh, no, skirt. American Eye screamed when it was a tiebreaker. When Chelsea almost choked that HOH comp. And then I don't understand all these players who can't do the math in time. And I get that part of it. But then you just put a big number. Wouldn't you feel better just putting a small number? It's not bad. Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you, Claudia. Or Claudie. Who do you think Angela would have put up? I assume Chelsea and Cam, right? I assume. You should know going into the house that there are 1440 minutes in a day. Yeah. I think you should do amount of minutes in a week, minutes in a day. Seconds in a day. They don't ask seconds, really. She told Leah she was targeting Rabina. You love to see it. She did 24 times 7 times 60, but left off a 0. Yeah. No, that I think the answer is 10,800 minutes in a week, and she did 1,080. You don't have that much time to do it, but I could do that math in that time. That's why I was annoyed that I lost the final 9 HOH. I got the last question wrong because I would have won that tiebreaker by a huge margin. The amount of minutes in a day. That's funny. 10,080 in a week. Yes. You're right. Are you right? I think you're right. Doesn't matter. It would have been closer. Because the math is always you find out how many minutes are in a week and then subtract 1,000. Just to not go over. I would have done 24 times 60 times 7 minus 1,000. Minus 500. Something like that. Because I don't know the exact times of day that Jenke was in and out. Yeah, they're right. You're right, Indiana. Because I was questioning, it's so silly that they do without going over. But it's just easier for the math. Because you get to see, what's the highest number that's not above the number that the answer is. It's just easier to do. If you could be on a different season of Big Brother, which do you think you'd play the best on? BB17, for sure. Chaotic house with a lot of active players. I think it would have been a lot more manageable. I think Vanessa is an easier player to play around than Suri. I think what pissed me off about BB25 is all the strategic players who played hard were in the same family, and then everyone else was not playing hard like that. So it was hard to navigate. Jace would call you Geek Squad McGee. That's right. And I would tell Davon I love her. I would. Was Leah's game-losing move not convincing Quinn to nominate Chelsea as the renom during his second HOH? She has a lot of game-losing moves. I think targeting T-Core was a big mistake. I think her using the veto on Angela was a huge mistake. Obviously, if she could convince Quinn to put up Chelsea, that would have been perfect. But she knew Joseph would go up, and still using that veto is what led to her, Quinn, and Joseph's demise. Boom, boom, boom. 10-9-7. So I think that was probably her biggest mistake. Losing Joseph for no reason, which led to her losing Quinn for no reason. Which led to her being alone. And then she got the HOH miraculously and targeted the wrong person. Like, it's hard to find a great move Leah made all season. Losing the simp army. Yeah. And you could say most of that's Quinn's fault, but Leah knew about it. Like, it wasn't an uninformed choice. Honestly, she should have been fine this week. Yeah. I mean, look, it's more MJ's bad move this week than Leah's poor play, but I think when your closest ally puts you on the block, you got to bear some of that burden. So why is she in your top 4? I just don't see it. There's so many problems with Leah's game, Olivia, but you also have to look at everyone else's game. T-Core didn't have a game. She was less active than Chemo on the Cedric flip. And then she had Tucker going her HOH without her knowing, and then sat around talking to Chemo and Rabina all season. Like that really was it. She's very good socially, very likable, but she didn't act self-interestedly at all. And that's not good. She had a good start, and I think her flipping on Cedric was great, but I do give Chemo more credit for that. Quinn is higher than her. Look, if they played again, I'd probably bet on Quinn before Leah, but Quinn's body of work is tough. Like, Quinn was so good socially, and he just dug himself in such a hole. Leah friendzoning Cam definitely hurt her. I don't think it's like a beast mode cowboy situation where Amber was not interested and that made him target. I don't think it was like that, but being in a showmance would have helped her for sure. No, I think the Cedric flip was right, hey bub. Honestly, her big mistake, because she had a lot of mistakes. Like, she should have been more in with T-Core and Cam. She just wasn't that in with them, right? Like, she protected them, but they weren't protecting her in that same way. But losing Tucker is brutal. If she was targeting Tucker and then tried to build off of that, I think she could have made it work. But being on the wrong side of the Tucker vote and losing him for no reason, that's a brutal thing. I just don't see how Cam is third. You guys keep doing this where it's like, I don't see how this person is there. But then, like, who's better than Cam? Give me a pitch. What do you think Angela could do better? Because I think it was flawless gameplay. Yeah, look, you got to hope for better comp outcomes because she played it as well as she could have. Brooklyn at 2 is insane. I think it's one of my easier decisions. I feel more confident at Brooklyn at 2 than, like, anyone other than Chelsea at 1. Cam's a sneaky, great BB player who probably does well in most seasons because he's so likable. Sneaky great is definitely overboard, but he's probably a pretty consistent player. He got very close to getting evicted week 5, so he's not that good. But I do think Cam is a good archetype. He's likable, social, athletic. That's a really good combo of things. If he was better at comps, he'd be a much better player, but he's not good. Leah gave us more weeks of Angela, so I stand. Yeah. Brooklyn at 2 is awful. Provide me an alternative. Sorry. I think Brooklyn... I didn't see that much wrong from Brooklyn. She didn't deal with adversity super well, but a lot of great players are not good at dealing with adversity. name one skill Brooklyn had. She was very good socially. Everyone trusted Brooklyn except Tucker. Everyone. She was in everything. She was even in that weird, 6 points, and then she was in the Pentagon, and, she was good socially. And she was, not loose lips. She was, good at holding information. She knew how to campaign. She played very self-interestedly. She showed more potential this season than anyone below her. The first 3 days of Joseph were elite. I think Joseph was mid as hell for most of it. And I think he was just laying low. I think he had a lot of potential. I think he still has potential. But those first couple of weeks, he was just really chilling. Because I think he got spooked by a lot of the Angela stuff at the start and his name being out there. And then he just kind of shut down for a bit, waiting to recover. And he never got that chance. She was so bad under pressure. Okay, look, she was bad, but she was not... She was worse than Chelsea, who she was on the block next to. That's the truth. She was worse than Chelsea. But Tucker was just gunning for Brooklyn, one HOH, and that's what happens. She was still campaigning hard. There were still talks about keeping her over Cam. Rabina over Cedric is crazy. What's the argument for Cedric being better than Rabina? Cedric's better socially. Well, they're very similar. I mean, Cedric just volunteered for the block and then went home because of it. Rabina just accepts being on the block. She doesn't volunteer. She left next to Cam. No, but the conversations were had. Cory came on Rabina were like, we should probably keep Brooklyn over her. And then they ended up not doing it. But, it wasn't like she was dead in the water the whole time. Cedric stayed over Rabina, which helps Rabina's case. Or you mean the opposite? Yeah. Cedric was actually gaming. Yeah, look, if it was just who's playing the most actively, I'd have Quinn as number 2. Cedric is number 3. It's a different question. Does Quinn do better without the Angela blow-up, or does he most likely find a way to screw it up? Look, I think Quinn has showed enough to us. We know he's just a very messy player. I think he's always going to find himself fucking something up, but he's really good socially. So on a season where he gets the perfect storm of things, I think he can do very well. Cedric had a successful HOH and only left because AI Arena. It was just his eviction was so unforced. He made his eviction happen. Yeah, but again, Mountain, that's on him. That should have been a huge advantage. The fact that he made it a disadvantage is on him. I think Quinn's biggest problem is he has a big mouth. He's just too messy with information. It's hard. I get it. How do you rank players' social games? You guys want me to do a social game ranking? It'd be I don't know, something like this. These would be my top people. Brooklyn's pretty good. I think Cam is better than Chelsea socially. I think the reason why I would have Cam over Chelsea is Chelsea has way more shitty conversations. Chelsea is being annoying to Cam and has these weird moments with MJ where she's being passive-aggressive and Leah. And Cam is much more chill and has better conversations. He doesn't fuck it up as much. It's very natural, Brianna. That's the Big Brother viewing experience. We all claim to be strategists, but when it comes down to the end, we want the best player to be voted out. It's normal. Chelsea blows up Cam over stupid stuff. Yeah, it's frustrating to watch, but like, look, I don't mean to excuse her behavior, but y'all, we've seen worse. This is all we've got this season. I'll take it. This isn't too bad. Cam was kind of mean to Leah in that conversation. Yeah, I thought it was unnecessarily pointed, but again, I think it's a slight slip up in the grand scheme of his social game. Chelsea needs your downfall. I don't even know how it happens. I think it was almost impossible to happen this double eviction, but maybe next to Cam it gets a little dicey. Chelsea would stay over Cam. She has better relationships than Cam. I don't think Chelsea earned her relationships with Rabina and Chemo. I feel like Cam has actually done better social work with at least Rabina. Chelsea, I think, did a good job with T-Core. I think when people say T-Core just trusted Chelsea because they're two black women and she wanted to... I think that's reductive. I think Chelsea and T-Core used to talk all the time in the locker room. I think, like, obviously there's an element there of they're two black women and they talked about wanting to work together. And, of course, that plays a role in their relationship. But ultimately, like, there's still, like, if T-Core didn't like Chelsea, it wouldn't matter, you know? But I think getting Chemo and Rabina is a pretty fortunate situation for Chelsea. But then again, you can credit that to her relationship with T-Core, so it's hard. A Chelsea-Rabina Chemo Final 3, of course, is very dangerous. Also, if it's like Cam, Chelsea, MJ, and you give it a couple more weeks of Cam and MJ cuddling, maybe we can get like a Taylor Monty, late game showmans kind of vibes. I think it's possible. It's not likely, but it's possible. It's just annoying. I hated what T-Core did with Chemo and Rabina with Chelsea because, like, it just reminded me of Suri and Riley. Riley goes to Matt and is like, trust Suri. It's like, I understand that's because of Suri's good social game. It's not like luck. It's not random. But it's such a bitch. Like, oh, it sucks. Like, damn. It fucked up so much. Ultimately, like, you know, you give Suri enough time to work on Matt, maybe it wouldn't have mattered, but Cam was down tremendously late the other night. Oh my god, him describing the sex positions was crazy. Wild stuff. I'm annoyed by Chelsea, but the facts are she has the entire house. I mean, just about. Just about. Cam cutting Chelsea in Final 3 for MJ would be cinema. I agree. People say the reason set flick happened was because Chelsea didn't maintain the Leah-MJ relationship. She did the exact same thing with T-Core. They hardly spoke. She also left T-Core out of the Pentagon, and T-Core overheard her. Yeah. Her relationship with T-Core was undeserved. I think... Look, I'm more so speaking, Matt, to the people who credit the entire relationship to identity, because I don't think it's that. Chelsea and T-Core, like, did talk a lot. Chelsea's not good at maintaining relationships. It's not one of her strong suits. But there's stuff to attribute that relationship to. The Chemo Rabina stuff feels like it came out of nowhere for Chelsea. Chelsea's basically been shit-talking them the whole season. Are you going to stream with Goo Boy? Yeah, we'll do something. I don't know what. He thought the cameras couldn't see his position. I'm tired of the top 5 player conversations. People are just, you know, in the moment, they're passionate. I think Chelsea is the 9th best winner. I have the big 5 of Dan, Will, Andy, Derek, Cody in some order. Then I have Nicole and Maggie are 7 or 6, 7. Hayden's there somewhere. So that's the 8. And then I think I'd have her at 9. I think I'd have her around Steve. I personally think Steve's a bit of a better player, but I think the body of work Chelsea has is more impressive. Because ultimately, Steve gave himself a 50-50 shot of winning with that final HOH comp. So, like, you know, whatever Chelsea's doing, it's better than giving herself a 50-50 shot. Forgot June. Yeah, no, June's definitely better than Chelsea, too. So I think she'd be 10 then. She'd be 9 or 10, depending on Maggie. Maggie's the one I'm not certain about. I think she's better than Xavier. I think she's better than Xavier. I think Xavier's game is, it's hard to give him as much credit for his game than I want to give Chelsea. You want to watch The Jury House for Leah and Quinn? Trust me, you did not want to watch Meet America and Jury. And if you did, you're a freak. Goo Boy's coming tomorrow night. My friend Daniel's coming tonight. I think the weak cast argument has never been more true this season. It's very true, 100%. It's a very weak cast. I think it's the weakest cast we've had in a while. But it still takes a very good player to dominate a weak cast. Right. So you understand that for context. You keep it in mind. But I don't think it's fair to like invalidate her game as a result. Well, not the intimate stuff. What do you think goes on in Jury Trouble? Maybe not for Quinn and Leah, but 19 was probably our last weak cast. I mean, look, I think 25 and 24 were middling casts. 23 was very strong. 21 was pretty weak. 21's a mixed bag, maybe. But 19 was pretty terrible. I think the last weak cast was like 19 and then like 13. 11. Like, these are some weak ones. She's a fine winner, just not anything above that. Well, Matt, would you have her higher than Casey? Let's figure this out. Like, is she better than Casey for you? Shut up, Suri. You didn't hear anything. You were locked in your room watching movies. 3 weeks in Jury sounds like an eternity. It's really nice, especially the fact that they all like each other in Jury. Like, Leah has Quinn, Leah has Angela. She'll have a good time. But, like, Matt, I think we're basically, like, agreeing. Like, I think you have her at the same place. Like, who do you have as better than Chelsea that you think I wouldn't? Jackson was good at BB despite his personality? I don't think so. I think Jackson was one of the biggest beneficiaries of inequitable competitions. He made an amazing play at the Final Five. He made a great move at the Final Five. Outside of that, he could have been evicted like 6 weeks in a row, if not for comps. And being a comp beast at that era of Big Brother is a viable, real strategy. So there's something to that. It's the same thing with Jag. Like, people hate it because it's all inequitable comps, but being able to win the inequitable comps is a real strength. Like, it's not a fake thing. Sorry, I brought up Jag. Sorry. He won mental comps and had social skills to carry him. I recommend you watch Ethanimal's like top 5 overrated players, overrated winners. He and you know, I watched his season more recently than most. It was one of the last full seasons I watched. He was not very good socially. Strategically, he had flashes, but he was also really bad for the first half of the game, 2/3 of the game. And then him and Holly just comped out, basically. Like, it's hard to... He's not the worst winner, but I think he's overrated. People remember him as better than he is. Weirdly enough, I think one of the most direct comparisons, not in terms of anything outside of like how good their games were, I think him and Taylor are kind of similar as players. Not their styles, not their journeys, but I think like in terms of, I'd have them ranked around the same spot. Clip that. Put that shit on Twitter. What about the meatball? I think Josh is a bottom 5 winner. I think Josh is better than Rachel. I think him and Jag are pretty close. I think him and Jordan are pretty close. I think he's better than Evil Dick. He's probably like the 5th worst winner, something like that. He got him and his girl to the final 2 seats. That's tough. I guess, but, you know, Holly also won a lot of competitions to protect him. Like, it's not like he was carrying her to the end. He saved her at the final 5, which I'll always give him credit for. Great play by him. You got to take into account how much harder the game is for Taylor. Of course. Yeah, and I am taking that into account. Like I said, like, their journeys are not the same. But I think, like, when you're rating their games, like, I think they both had like similar levels of control and not control, and I get Taylor's degree of difficulty was harder because of the cast she was dealing with. But by the time it got to the back half of the game, she had most of her people who she liked were still there, and most of the problems were gone. And a lot of that happened not really due to Taylor, like the leftover stuff, you know? And like when people prop up Taylor, it's not really for the early game. It's more so for the end game stuff. Taylor was strategic. Michael wouldn't have even been voted out without her. Here's my perspective on that, because I saw people talking about it on Twitter. I think Taylor's contribution to the Michael vote, for me, is kind of similar to Jag's contribution to the Izzy vote. It would not have happened without her. That is true. I don't think it was her move. Does that make sense? Taylor's social game is God tier. I think it's good. It's a really good social game. I think God tier I'd reserve for, like, just a few people. It's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. How do you feel about Taylor's win? I think it was good. It was a good win. A lot of adversity. And I will say it's really hard playing from a position of adversity, which is why I respected her game more leaving the house than I did going in. Because it's really hard playing from a bad position. Like, it's really easy to look like an idiot when you're in a bad spot. And I don't think she ever looked like an idiot. Ironically, I think her worst weeks were when she was HOH, right? How do you feel about Jag's win, though? Oh, don't send me on this road. Top 10. No, I was not watching feed, CC, so I'm not claiming to be an expert on the subject. Look, I'm not going to fight you guys on it. A lot of you guys are more informed than me. I don't think Turner hated Taylor, did he? By the second half of the game? Even like Alyssa. I don't think Alyssa was super anti-Taylor. Like, the real problem was, like, you know, Turner voted for Monty. Well, Monty was Turner's boy. I'm going to get him on a call right now. He'll defend it. You should have seen him Kyle's week. Oh, not Kyle's week. Oh, yeah. I mean, Kevin Jacobs is that guy. Look, we don't have to relitigate Taylor's game. I'm a big fan of Taylor. She's awesome. I think she's one of the most satisfying winners we've ever had on the show. Maybe she's definitely the most satisfying, the more I think about it. I was going to say, like, Rachel Riley was pretty good. In a weird way, evil dick, but only if you're casual. It's just like when you judge like how strong her game is, I think it's like a lot of what you have to evaluate is how much do you respect overcoming adversity versus having control in the game. And she's definitely more of an adversity than a control person. And I think a lot of people just view like having a ton of, having all the pieces in front of you and puppeteering is the best way of playing Big Brother, which it definitely looks a lot more impressive, but, you know. She did both, though. Everyone does a little bit of both, but I think she was definitely more type A than type B in that regard. Like Jag, I think, was a actually true combo of both. Like, he played from the top, not because of his social skills, just because of comps. But, like, I think it's funny. Like, Jag, when he was in a terrible position, looked like the worst player of all time. And when he was in a good position, he looked serviceable. You know what I mean? Like, that's how Big Brother is. And the fact that Taylor looked as competent as she did when she was on the bottom, I think is a very good sign to, like, what if she was on the top all season? Would she be dominant? Maybe. Probably not, just because we saw her HOH, but maybe. Type A, she had no choice. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's her fault. I feel like you guys get what I'm saying. I feel like, yes, it was not her fault that she was on the bottom, but by virtue of how the season played out, she had to play on the bottom for most of it, so we didn't get to see her in charge for most of it. I think Cam is bad. I don't think he's throwing comps. Chemo will win HOH. Mackenzie will win BB Comics. I hope they bring back the same Final 5 HOH. The Final 5 HOH comp was awesome last season. It was so cool. The rolling the ball thing. It kind of screws over people in the minority, but this season it would be a 2v2. That'd be kind of cool. The skee ball thing, yeah. Can we have your house? You've been on the house on MJ or Cam winning the veto. No, I didn't. Find me a clip. I didn't know they'd do an equitable comp. How could I have known? Look, say what you will about BB25 or BB26. They did a great job with comps. They have knocked it out of the park consistently. It's been great. Like, I have no complaints. There's been a few physical comps, and even those are, like, not amongst the most physical comps. And here's what I'll say, Katie. You say I'm not bitter. I still think Jag would have beaten me in America in 90% of them. Because some people are just better at things than others. I forgot, like, on Big Brother All-Stars, like, every HOH, it feels like literally every one is a quiz. A quiz or some sort of endurance comp. Like, that was it. They just show the comps for too long in episodes? Of course, but one issue at a time. America won 2 vetoes, don't you remember? Exactly. Cory didn't win anything. America won 2 vetoes. Ironically, the worst comp was the wall. I hate the wall comp. It was very exciting. Tucker versus Quinn's crazy. Chelsea fake super fan. She's a fan. She's just a casual. Just a casual. Jag didn't hear you in Paths of Power? What does that mean? Didn't beat me in Paths of Power, I assume you meant. No, I was... Matt did, though, so... You know, I don't know if that would have saved us. Best zing this season? Best zing this season. I think it was just the Chelsea one because the reaction was funny. But, you know, I think that's it. Path to Power was this veto. It was very different, though. Like, our Path to Power didn't... It was a much longer track, and it didn't have as many railings. You could just throw the ball on. Chelsea was best. Leah was worst. Yeah. Leah, they called her a dumb blonde. It's so lazy. They did the same thing with Matt. Like, there's so much to criticize people for. Tiny HOH. I would love if it was a tiny HOH comp, because I think Rabina Chemo, you'd think, would be better. Cam would have a lot of trouble. Hands are too big. I am rooting for Rabina Chemo on this HOH. Because at this point, here's what I want. Honestly, what I want right now is I want Chelsea to win while facing maximum adversity. I would love, like, someone to win HOH, her to be on the block, her survive the block. Final 4, someone else wins veto, has to choose not to evict her, and then she gets dragged to the end of Final 3. Like, I want her to run the gauntlet. Then MJ goes yawn. Everything is yawn. I just want Chelsea to have a hard road and to be able to overcome it. I think that's the most satisfying ending this season. Like, everybody on the cast gets to throw their game to Chelsea at some point. I think that'd be fun. I wouldn't call that a steamroll. That's just good play. Or whoever takes her out wins. I agree with that. It's just... I think narratively, if MJ did it, it'd be kind of interesting, but I'm not satisfied with any of these other players winning. MJ might win veto. Yeah, I mean, MJ could win veto, and then it's like, are they going to vote out Cam? Probably. But they'd have to really sit there and think about it. Oh, I hope not, Keegan. If I hear one more fucking song on the edited episodes, much less. Oh my god. Does Chelsea beat Chemo? I think Chemo beats Chelsea in the final two. But hey, that's just a theory. I think Chemo is the biggest jury threat on the board. Because he gets Angela no matter what. He gets T-Core and Rabina no matter what. And then you're one vote away. I think T-Core votes Chemo over Chelsea. I feel confident about that. Would Cam evict Chelsea at final three? I don't think so. But it's like impossible for Chemo and Chelsea to get to the final two together. Unless Chemo takes Chelsea somehow. But how does that happen? You know what I mean? Like, that's not a final two combo that is going to happen. Where would a Chemo win stand? I think I'd place him around Josh tier. He's worse than Jag. I think he's worse than Josh. I think he's probably around Josh tier. Yeah, I think I'd put him next to Josh. But I think I'd put Jag as better for sure. I would say he's better than Rachel, maybe? I don't know. He's bad. He's worse than Jag, 100%. Jag got evicted. Y'all love this conversation. I mean, Chemo I would literally view as a non-factor who won the game. Like, he did nothing. I respect Josh more, who played actively. I'd have Josh over. I'd have Rachel over him. I'd have Jordan over him. I might have him over Evil Dick because Evil Dick didn't actually win the game. You know? Chemo's like a Jordan. Yeah, I think Jordan's an interesting comp. I could see that. He blew up the Pentagon. Yeah, he did. Then he did nothing. That was week 4. It was week 4, and then he did nothing. Like, aggressively nothing. Like, would have gotten evicted several times if not for things happening around him, and he wasn't even campaigning for those things. If he was trying, and then it would happen for different reasons, I'd give him some credit, but he wasn't even trying. Cam did nothing for the first 7 weeks. Yeah, but look, Cam's not good either. I don't want to... If Cam wins, he's going to be pretty similar to Chemo. But I do think Cam has, like, been in a power position longer. He's been a little bit less complacent. He's been better socially, I think. Yeah, but you'd think, but, like, Chemo's been everyone's pawn, and he doesn't care because he, like, volunteers for everybody. Didn't he volunteer during Chelsea's last HOH when Quinn was booted? Cam's worse than Matt Klotz. Yeah, I think Matt would be the best or second best player on this season next to Chelsea. And I don't think as highly of Matt's game as I did before. But still, like... Matt was self-interested. That's a low bar to clear, but he does clear it. Matt was not intentional. Yeah, but even unintentional is better than everyone on the cast. Would Matt beat Chelsea in a final two? No. No. His speech would be terrible. How is Chemo the bigger jury threat, but Cam is better socially? Because of the 7-person jury, it's not all about just how generally good your social game is. It's like, who's left in the house? Like, the people in the jury all have an affinity for Chemo. Whereas Cam had good relationships with people like Cedric and Joseph and Brooklyn and, all these people. How would you do on this cast? I'd do fine. I think I'd probably go out around this time. Like, I would be gaming too hard. I think I would stick out like a sore thumb on this cast. But I think I'd be able to navigate okay because everyone's pretty bad. Those relationships don't mean anything, though. Yeah, but you don't know that. Like, we have eyes. Like, we got to watch the feeds all season. Like, Chemo doesn't... His social game is really not that good. People just like him. And that's fine. That's a big part of the social game, but likability versus having good social game, they're not the exact same thing. And like, we've seen Chemo just relegate himself to talking to T-Core and Rabina a lot. Cam is playing the field a bit more. You be the Joseph of the season? No, because I'm more active than Joseph. Like, I'd probably be more like Quinn than Joseph, but I think I'd have less disastrous HOHs. But I'd still be viewed as a threat and targeted pretty early. How will I get my points if stream ends before feeds come back? It's very likely stream ends before feeds come back, too. It's almost, like, certain. If y'all had a 9-person jury, what do you think Mimi and Jared would have done? I mean, you'd think Jared would be a Matt vote, you'd assume. And Mimi... I think Mimi would be a Jag vote, ultimately. I think Mimi liked Matt way more, but so did Blue and so did Cameron. But then you get into jury and, like, the information flows, and I think she would have ended up voting for Jag. Blue probably votes with them? I don't think so. I think you guys overestimate how that stuff happens, at least on my season. Mimi and Jag's final two? Kill me. But I think it would have been 6-3 Jag or maybe 5-4, but Jag still wins. Mimi would look at the representation angle as well. Yeah, but, like, Matt has a very clear representation angle, too. What do you think? What do you think? Yes, I have to clean my closet. Don't say anything. They're both teachers, yeah. The laundry, it's not good. Not good. It is interesting, though. 9-person jury. I'm glad it wasn't a 9-person jury. Made my life in the jury house better. How long are you planning to stream? Maybe another 15 minutes. We're not waiting for HOH this time. I gotta pick up my friend from the airport. You didn't even see it? Well, you could see Edgar. Should I get a carry camera? I have so many cameras in this. I have like 4 webcams plugged into my computer right now. Fine, you get a quick one. Whoop. I like the 7-person jury. I think it's better. You could see it through Edgar, is that right? A little bit, yeah. You could also see Commander pause a little bit. His real name is Commander O'Neill, but he goes by Commander Pause. 7-person jury is better because you have to earn your spot. I don't care about that stuff. Like, you have to earn your spot in a jury. Like, that's not the biggest accomplishment. I just like it more because I think it creates a more dynamic end game because the votes are more predictable. And there's less opportunity for groupthink in the jury. I think there's a lot of benefits. Why do you think people online are more open to being critical about the representation thing this season? Because I feel like people would be mad in the past. I think it's just a product of, number one, they don't necessarily love the people who are pitching the representation angle. And 2, it's just a bit of fatigue at this point. Because it's the 4th year where it's a big topic of conversation. And like all things, I think people just sour on thing when it happens too much. I think what a lot of people have a problem with, like, they don't have a problem with people, talking about, let's get 2 women to the end. Let's get 2 women of color to the end. I think when people think it's being used as a strategy and people are, like, going back on it, I think that's when people will be like, this seems a bit messy. But no one's been really put in a position to do that yet. Do you think it's a bad Final 5? Yeah, I do. I think you need, like, a Quinn there. or like a Tucker, or like you need like some counteracting force to Chelsea.
What's going on?
How'd the podcast go?
Oh, babe, you will not understand, babe. Like, after hosting a podcast, I will never be nervous about being a guest ever again. Like, ever.
What do you think, Edgar?
You're just so annoying.
You're just wearing no pants. You just see it through Edgar.
Yeah, like, I'm in my underwear.
What pod was she on? Can you announce it or no?
Yeah, I was on with Amy and Haley on the Batch Talk. That's the new name of the Bachelor podcast on RHEP.
That's cute.
Yeah.
They were the kind of like the pioneers of Bachelor podcasting.
They were.
Years
they started
back.
10 years ago.
Yeah.
Are you staying on?
I've got about 10 minutes left. Then I'm going to get off, and then we're going to race.
I know. I'm like shaking around, and I'm like, I need to race. But they were a lot of fun. They're really nice, and they're funny.
Yeah. I love that collar on you, America. It's giving the headband look.
I love this color, too. That's why I've been wearing it all day. I wore it for the podcast, and then I wore it...
What's the headband look?
When the blue, like, sort of turtleneck, like mock turtleneck shirt with the little black skirt.
Yes.
I wore it for... Not Baby Odd Couples. Oh, Name That Too.
Yes. We're arguing.
What? You and me?
No. Would Chemo be a better winner than Jag?
No.
I agree.
No.
Now you make the argument, because I've been doing it for 2 years.
Jag was, although kind of lost at the beginning, he was very intentional and sort of aware of what he had to do, and he had a game plan. We saw that, like, he had a game plan of what he wanted, how he pictured his final six, his final five, final
10,
four.
He described his final five. And
Yeah. So, yeah, Jag got evicted. It does not matter. Yeah, he got evicted because...
Y'all,
whatever.
Chemo was going to be evicted at the final 10 due to nothing. Chemo did nothing right to get Joseph evicted. Cam would have been evicted at the final whatever if Brooklyn won the like.
I think if we're talking like strategically, Jag is just better.
He's
Even
way
though
better.
Those first 6 weeks were just horrible. It was like he picked it up afterwards, and sure, comps helped. You know.
Oh no, comps were why he won.
Comps were why he won, but
what does Chemo have going for him?
Can't negate the fact that he. Yeah.
Also, this is a point I've been talking about a little bit more recently. Do you want to take the actual chair?
No, you said 10 minutes. I'm going to be out.
The reason why I think a lot of our players looked really dumb, like more dumb than they would otherwise, Suri made a lot of players look dumb. And like the way the house structure was worked out with Suri and Jared and Izzy and all them,
Suri had everyone.
it was really hard to not look stupid. You know what I mean? Like the only people who looked good at all in the early game, like I looked okay.
I'm going to turn on the AC.
And everyone else looked terrible. Felicia looked okay in moments. Mimi looked okay in moments. You know what I mean? His speech wasn't doing something right. Yeah, sure. His speech was good, but that's... it's just so... He could have been evicted so easily, and the fact that it came down to a speech... I think penalizing someone so bad for an early eviction when other people were very close to getting evicted and then did nothing to save themselves... It's like, why are we giving them credit for not being evicted there when they had nothing to do with them not being evicted? You know what I mean? And when you guys say, but he wasn't and Jag was, it's like, all right, so you guys are just done arguing, you know. Jag did nothing too. Well, that's not true. Say what you will. Jag, won Bowie Jane over Matt. That was very good. He was able to pull in Cam. Matt was mostly Matt, but, Jag played a role in the same way Chemo played a role in, like, the T-Core flip and stuff. And he got rid of Suri at the final 5, which, again, was due to comps, but it was good. Jag saved me at the final 10. That was all him, and that was probably a good move for Jag. I don't know if it was a good move. I don't know. I don't think it was a terrible move. But that was him. If Chemo does something in this endgame, we'll see. Maybe. Yeah, it's just, like, I think you guys overestimate how good I think Jag's game is. I just think he's, like, the 5th worst instead of the 2nd worst, That's all. Don't make this about being pro-Jag. I'm anti-chemo, okay? You guys understand? And look, this is my other hot take that I know you guys hate. Compability matters. And I understand Jag had a lot of inequitable comps, but Chemo's a terrible competitor. He won that comp today and give him credit. But he's really bad. Really, really bad. So, like, that is a big deal, you know, being able to win comps. He's doing better than Cam. I'm not going to give Cam credit for being good at comps. The whataboutism in this chat is crazy. Counter my argument. Jag wins 0 AI arenas. Well, shit. Take that as a warning. Mike. You don't get to overrule me. That's not your job. You're a loyal servant. Comps won't impress me more than strategy/social. Then you're not a real Big Brother fan, because they play a role. I think a good strategic and social game is more valuable than a good physical game, but when your social game is bad, your strategic game is bad. Like, I think Chemo and Jag are super flawed in both areas. Physical game is a good tiebreaker. Most fun HOH for this week. I think Chemo. Chemo would target MJ. I think the best outcome is a Chemo, Rabina, HOH, MJ veto. And then they have to choose between Cam and Chelsea. I think that's the most interesting week. I think that's a product of Surrey, Dyson. But I hear you. Who's going to get the best comic? I mean, there's a lot of good ones for Quinn. Angela should be the best. I think MJ is the best bet to win veto. Absolutely. Quinn's will be about his hair. I think it's very possible. Who already had costumes? Because you could assume the costume people are going to have costume ones. Like Tucker, they might make the AI assistant or whatever. That's what I'm saying, Dyson. Cedric had the downgrade, so did Chelsea, I guess, yeah. I think Cedric's is going to be young Cedric. I think that makes sense to me. I fear they're going to be AI generated. That'd be awesome. Yeah, but there's other people in the house too, future hours. All right, I'm going to get off. Before we do another theoretical winners ranking. Would you have voted Surrey over Jag? If Surrey's speech was good enough. My gut was going to be vote Jag, because Surrey was being dragged to the end by the end. But I'm glad that didn't happen, because that would have been a mess.